Hello, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let's make sure we are live. Well, for some crazy reason, my phone, or not my phone, but my internet has decided to not pop up on my. I don't know what's going on. Why all of a sudden my computer decided that it couldn't connect to my internet, even though I can see myself right here and it says that I'm live up there in that top corner and over here in the corner saying that we are good to go. So not sure what is going on with my computer right now. Must just be glitchy because that's just the way a Monday goes sometimes. And that's okay. We'll take it. Can't always have it perfect, right? So let's make sure we get ourselves, oh, there we go. We are live in both places, here on Facebook and over on YouTube. But we need to silence myself because we don't need to keep hearing me twice. That's not good. So you guys are here for another wonderful Make It Monday. Today we are going to be using the Autumn Trees, which is a fabulous, fabulous set. I have had a lot of fun with this. I'm actually, I made 3 cards a couple days, and I have decided to actually change up a couple of the things inside of them. So I will be giving you a sneak peek of what I have come up with, and then you'll see as I'm changing them in my live demonstration tonight. But then you'll get both ideas and see what you like better. Maybe you like my original card better than what I'm going to show you tonight. So maybe when you recreate these cards, you want to leave them the way that I had them. So we are going to be playing with this fabulous set. We have wonderful weather here in Tucson, Arizona. It is kind of cloudy. The last couple of days we have been having clouds come in from the south and they have been moving up. Last night we had pretty good rain. Like, it rained pretty much through the whole night, which was wonderful, because then I woke up this morning and you could feel just the air changing. And because today is the first day of fall, so happy fall, y'all. Okay, I don't do that very well. That's not my jam. So but I do like jam, and we'll get there. But because I've been dabbling in some new baking techniques this whole last week, which, as you guys most of you know, I am not a one to go into the kitchen and do any kind of baking or cooking, and that's again not my jam. I'll eat all day long, but to have to cook that food, oh no, that's not fun. So back to the weather has just been fabulous. It definitely, you can feel that change in the air. That fall is now upon us. We are on the outskirts of our monsoon, so we're not going to see much rain, too much here in the future. So we could kind of say goodbye to that. So it was nice to have that really good rain last night. We definitely needed that. So about my baking experience that I have been dabbling in is I have been doing some research on doing sourdough and making my own sourdough. So I have been making my own sourdough starter. So I started that about 2 weeks ago, and you just create sourdough starter with flour and water, and you let it sit on your counter. And one of the positive things about us being down here in Tucson, Arizona, is we have the warmth in my kitchen. And it really helps activate those kind of bacteria. I know that sounds really gross. And when you think about like sourdough starter and what it really is, it's kind of gross. But most of us know that fermentation is very, very good for the gut. I like to drink what is it called? Not kimchi, kombucha. I love kombucha. We used to actually make tea kombucha, and I drank that pretty much on a daily. And again, it's just the whole fermentation, and you let the mother kind of do its job with the um, kind of the whole fermentating. And I haven't really tried kimchi. I know a lot of people swear by it because it is fermented, but kimchi, I can't. Just like sauerkraut, I cannot do sauerkraut. That is not my thing. My mom likes sauerkraut. Like when we have hot dogs and stuff, she puts sauerkraut on there. I can't get past the smell. But then again, when you think of kombucha, it's kind of a stink too. But I don't know. It's just different for me. So yeah, so I've been having a wonderful time watching and it's kind of experimental. Like you feel like you're kind of this mad scientist making the starter. And so I had made this last week, a couple of loaves of bread, and I made this fabulous pumpkin swirl sourdough bread. And it's kind of like a cinnamon roll. You make the dry rub on there, and then as you're pulling out your dough, you're actually putting this rub over it. And then when you fold all of it together, and then when you go to bake it, it's got this really nice cinnamon pumpkin spice. It was yummy. It's definitely fall like season as far as when it comes to me wanting pumpkin spice coffee creamer. I want pumpkin spice cookies. I want, anything pumpkin. That's for me. You just dial me up and let me know, and I will be right there. So that is that. So we are, like I said, we're going to be using the autumn trees. What else that's the other thing. I cannot go on without telling you this. So my anniversary was yesterday. We had our 20th anniversary. So we didn't do much. We just kind of hung out at home, but that's just us. Here in Arizona, there was, if not here in Tucson, but up a couple of hours up north, there was a big celebration of life for Charlie Kirk, as all of you guys know. And I just didn't want to be out on the highway and stuff, because not that it's really affecting us much, but there was a lot of traffic coming and going because people were leaving there, going there, all this kind of stuff. So we just kind of stuck home yesterday. My husband did work during the morning, and then we just kind of chilled here during, the afternoon. And so I was out here in the barn working with cards. We actually are on a what's it called? A boot camp right now that I have signed up for. So we're in some training, and we were doing our first week of homework, and that was cleaning up our craft space. So I was out here kind of reorganizing. I know you can't really from this view, but I have really gone through a lot of my embellishments and went and took the old ones and put in the back. So I'm showing you the fresh new stuff that is still available in the store. I really tidied up my desk, threw a lot of things away that I just had scraps just thrown, or how our little backings of the dimensionals, those get stuck underneath things. So I kind of just went through and I just kind of cleaned things off. And it actually does a really good refresh for us. Any crafter should do this. I highly recommend that. Even if you have a tiny space, keeping that clean and organized really helps with kind of the flow of keeping your crafting mojo, I guess you should say. So I highly recommend that if you are feeling crowded in your space of your crafting area, kind of go through it, declutter yourself, put things in boxes that you don't use. I'm a huge stickler for that, because I have items that are sitting around that I don't even use anymore. So as far as the Stampin' Right pens are being retiring. So those are in our our last chance products list. So you can get all of those there before they're gone. So I've been moving those out because I don't even really use them anyways. So they're moved on, so I can get ready to sell product that I don't even use anymore. And I have to figure out how it is that I'm going to do that, because I can't have a sale at my house because I live so rural. Nobody's going to come out here and do all that. So I'm kind of dabbling in ways of selling. I know I did an online sale about 2 years ago and that went wonderful. So I may just do it like that again. Not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure it out. So with that being said, I was out here most of the day yesterday. And by the time I went in, I walked in and I'm going to have to flip you guys around here on YouTube so I can show you guys exactly what I walked into the house to. It's still gonna make me teary now. So I'm going to flip this camera around because none of you guys want to see me crying. So hold tight. I'm gonna get you guys flipped. Okay, so when I walked in the house, on my table was this beautiful bouquet. And I know I have to kind of lay it down here because we're looking at my desk and my cameras are too low that I can't stand it up. Well, maybe, but you guys aren't going to get the full view of it. Anyway, so those are the Lego roses that I walked into sitting on my table in this beautiful glass vase. It even has the little baby's breath. My dad could not believe that these were Legos. And I said, well, my husband knows that I do not like fresh cut flowers because they die. And I just don't like to see things die. So he had these there. And I said, well, those are the perfect flowers for me because then I can't kill the things. And then beside it was this little Lego box that my husband has made. As you can see, it's made out of Legos. He walks over to me and he hands me this. And I'm like, what the heck is that? See, I told you guys I wasn't going to cry. And so he hands me this and it has a ring inside of it. Again, a handmade Lego box that he created. Now, as you can tell, this ring right here is the ring that I always wear on my finger. It is the one that came from my grandmother who passed I think it's been 3 or 4 years ago. She actually passed in my home now because my mom used to live in this house and we were there with her. And so this was her 50th anniversary ring. And I always told my husband that he never needed to buy me a ring because this would never come off my hand. Well, so that ring was not in there, but this ring was. Now, this ring has some major history to it. So my great grandmother, this is way before I even had a thought of moving to Tucson, Arizona. Her and my grandfather lived here in Tucson, Arizona. Now this is my grandfather's mother who lived here. The only great grandmother that I ever knew, because I never got to know my grandmother's mom. She had passed way before I was even a thought in the wind. And so my mom has had this ring and she has worn it. And I knew that my mom's mom, my grandmother, wore it because she got it passed down to her when my great grandmother passed away. It went to her, then it went to my mother. And then my husband was talking to my mom about going and buying me a new wedding ring. And so she said, she goes, I wouldn't do that. She said, I wouldn't. She goes, I have this ring in here that is going to be passed to her, but it wasn't supposed to come to me. It needs to be sized because as you can see, I have very, very small fingers. And so rings, no matter, I could never find one that fits me. So besides, little side note, this ring right here fit me perfect. I knew it was meant to be mine. But this one, because it was my great grandmother's, my grandmother wore it, but she wore it on her middle finger because of it being so much bigger. But so I'm going to have to take it in and get it sized. They weren't sure if it was going to fit or not, and they didn't want to do any altercations until I put it on my hand. And so it is such an honor to be able to wear this monstrosity. Like, it, look at the height of that. Like, it sticks up so high. And my mom said, you know, maybe we want to get it reset because so I don't snag it on things, or because I have to do so much physical stuff with my daughter because of her disabilities, so I don't catch her skin on it. And I said, nope, I'll just have to be careful. It's not getting altered. It needs to stay the way it is. I'm very weird about things like that. Like, it needs to stay the way that it was when I got it. Like, I don't want to change it. I don't want to do anything to it. So when he gave this to me, of course, I was crying. I was like, wait a minute, that's not meant to be mine yet. That's not supposed to be mine until my mom passes. So I went over and I told my mom, I said, I go, why do I have this in my possession yet? And so she said, she goes, because you need to be enjoying it now. And she said, and I would like to see you enjoying it now. So it was, I mean, just so amazing that I get to put this on my hand, and the tiny little band underneath it is actually my grandmother. That was her actual wedding band. Nobody else in the family can get this on their finger. And no, I have never had it altered. It came straight off of her finger when she passed away here in the house. Hospice took it off of her before they took her to go be cremated. They took it right off of her hand and gave it to me. And it fit me right then and there. So I knew. And me, it's kind of weird how, you know, the chain of life works. And I have been the only granddaughter for God knows until I was like maybe 18 years old. And then my uncle wound up getting married, and then he had a little girl. But we were already kind of old enough that we didn't like grow up with them. But me and my 3 boy cousins were all kind of raised all together, and my grandparents kind of helped raise us when our parents worked. So it just was kind of fitting that I was the only niece, I was the only granddaughter, that ring fit my finger perfectly. Now, I'm not trying to downgrade that I do have a female, cousin, and that, but I've only met her once, because the age gap, we were already kind of all established by the time she was born. So there's that. But I just wanted to share with you what my husband and my mom so graciously gave me for my 20th anniversary. And so now this one will really never leave my hand. They will have to cut it off of me. That being said, it does have to be sized, because as soon as I get any cold or anything, it's going to spin and it's going to go all the way underneath my hand. Now, that might be a good thing, because when I am messing with my daughter, I might need to spin it. But even if it is sized down a little bit, it will still be able to spin. Okay, so there you go. There's my little story of the day. And now we will get on to creating. So I am going to go ahead and show you the cards that we are going to make today. If you guys could hit that subscribe button so you guys can come in here and join me every week. If you are watching me over on Facebook, go ahead and follow me so you can always see when I'm live. And I know Facebook's been kind of weird lately as far as sending out notifications to people. But normally it'll come across your feed or whatever that Danny Garola is live from Pink Barn Stamper, and that's when you guys can come in and join me. Drop a hello in the comments. Let me know where you're watching me from. I love to see where all my creative friends are from in this country. I know people pop in here even from other countries, so it's cool to kind of see everybody coming in. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you will be notified when I am live. Let me share with you guys the cards that we are going to be making today. So I am going to be altering these. I have already said that. So this is the first one. I'm going to be making this little brown piece in the back a little bit bigger. And then I think I'm going to be using a different, instead of using gold, I'm going to use the paper that actually is in the Full Suite collection for this, this whole set. So there's the first card. The second card is a bridge fold card. Now I'm going to change it, and I'm not going to do this tree in the background because I think it's just way too big and you actually have to cut the stump off. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, but just so you guys can see it. And then the last card is using that tree, but I'm going to do that embossing on the back of that early espresso and do it that way. So we're going to have fun with this. I will show you, you know, those cards as we're going and making these so you can see the difference between the two that I'm creating. So let's get into a couple of our promotions that are getting ready to happen or are happening right now. We have starting tomorrow. Now this is a limited time, so you're going to want to get this ASAP. I have a timer set for midnight for me to go ahead and add this to my cart tonight because I do not want to miss out on this. So if you want to know more about this, I'm going to kind of just tell you the little rundown of it, but there is actually a video over on my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. You can visit my blog over there and you're going to see where it says the 12 days of crafting advent calendar over there. And there's an actual video that you can watch that gets a little bit more into detail about what this advent calendar is all about. This is the first time that I know of that Stampin' Up! Has done anything like this. And I am so stinking over the moon happy about this product. So of course I definitely have to get one. It says countdown to Christmas with exclusive products you will not find in any Stampin' Up! Catalogs or our online store. Buy one for yourself and gift one to a friend before they're gone. So if you know anybody who crafts, if you have kids, if you have your neighbors and you're looking for a gift for them and you know that they're crafty, this might just be the perfect gift for them. And just know that it is $100, but you're going to be getting your rewards when you create an account in my online store, shopdannygarola.com. So it's going to be, it says it's going to come with a couple of stamp sets. It looks like there's a couple of different cards here. It does not look like it's just based on Christmas products. So that's kind of cool. This thing might be kind of neat that you'll have products to use all throughout the year. And I like that. But when I get mine, I will definitely be showing it to you. The item code for this item, if you want to write this down really quick, grab a pen, grab some paper. Just know that it's the 12 days of crafting advent calendar. It is 167335. Make sure you write that down so you will have that to add that to your shopping cart tonight. I've already had people reach out to me and ask me, when is that available? I want to make sure I get that. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Linda. Welcome, welcome, you guys. And we've got Janelle and we've got Rose over on Facebook. Actually, you know what? Let me flip over to Facebook here really quick. I know it was acting a little bit fiddly earlier and it wouldn't even let me get on Facebook. I don't know what the heck is going on. Anyways, let's see here. And it's still not working. Anyways, all right. So that is going to be available tomorrow, the 23rd. Mystery stamping. You still have a couple of days to get your mystery stamping card submitted over on Pink Barn Stamper. You're going to find more information about this again over on my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. You guys who have already made cards, I am loving them. It's definitely like a Coastal Cabana kind of week, I'm assuming, because there has been some beautiful cards in there using that gorgeous Coastal Cabana. They are absolutely beautiful. You guys are killing it. So the way that works is on the 24th, I will, during the late evening, around 5-ish or so you've got all day long to work on your card, even on Wednesday. Snap a picture of that, get that posted over on the Pink Barn Stamper group. If you're not a part of that, go ahead and join that. There's just a couple of questions that you need to answer to get into the group. Then you will be entered into a drawing for some beautiful, what did I do this month? I think, oh yeah, I have the, this is the Tencel Gems 4-pack that I am going to be giving away to one of you lucky ones who have submitted a card. I will do a random drawing through everybody, and you will be notified that you are a winner. So that is fantastic. Okay, don't forget that you need to get registered for World Card Making Day. This is on October 4th. Registration is open now. Again, you can find the link to register for this on my blog. It is a free crafting event that will take effect, or not effect, but will happen on October 4th. And it's to celebrate World Card Making Day. Now, there is a kit, the Heartfelt Homemade, I think it's called, kit that coordinates with this event. So you might want to check that out. Our paper pumpkin for the month of October is called the Cozy Christmas. And you need to subscribe to this by October 10th to be able to get this to you. If you don't want to subscribe, you could always just buy the 1-month kit, just so you know that you don't have to get locked into anything. Create heartfelt Christmas cards with classic charm and flocked accents. Makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. Pre-cut paper pieces with soft stitched look flocking. Be careful with that word. That could get you in some trouble. Shiny red sequence embellishments. And then it says it's going to be in a coordinating box, delivered with even more holiday magic. So as you can see, the box is decorated too. The cool thing about these boxes that are decorated is you can always cut a piece of paper and stick on here and decorate it yourself. And then you can actually make the cards in this and send that as a gift to somebody that you know that doesn't either a craft but does love to send cards out. This is a great gift for them to send Christmas cards out, or yourself if you are one that doesn't want to buy all the things to craft. But this is an all-in-one exclusive kit that comes with everything that you need, besides maybe just grabbing yourself a pair of scissors to cut any ribbon or any kind of little pieces that you need to cut. But everything is already scored for you, and all you have to simply do is just put it all together. So it is a wonderful thing. It is a jump start on all your Christmas cards. So if you're one that is looking to create your own Christmas cards, but you don't really want to craft throughout the rest of the year, this is the kit for you. So just so you're aware of that. It does look like November's kit is going to be another pretty cool. It says Wrapped in Cheer is the November one. Maybe you do want to subscribe so you could go ahead and get all 3 of these for this quarter. It is a little festive goodie box. So as you can see that the box is going to actually turn into something. It looks like it's going to be gift cards or little treat bags or treat boxes or something. It says that you can turn them into gift card holders or treat boxes. So that's kind of cool that they're going to give you the option to flip those to whatever you need for your holiday gifting and whatnot. So we do have, for the quarterly 3 paper pumpkins, we also have a coordinating add-on of these dies that are called the Abundant Joy dies. And just know that these dies come in perfect for all your projects. Don't think that it only has to go with these. Look at the word joy. You know how many cards you can put the word joy on? Maybe you do want to make some of your own Christmas cards, but you still want to have this. Here's your backup right here. You can make your own little tags for your gifts right here. So it's kind of a win-win when it comes to your paper pumpkin boxes and your add-on for the full quarter, because then you're not having to keep buying dies. You've got what you need to coordinate with these to make your own little cards aside. Okay, so the kit for this week is to make those 3 cards that I shared with you over here. So when you spend $35 or more this week, so through the 28th, when you place an order with me and you spend $25 or more, you are going to get this kit in the mail, which it is going to have all of your pre-cut pieces inside of here and your card bases. The only thing that I do not add to your card is into your kit is I do not add the stamp sets, the dies, or any of the little blings that we use. But if it requires any ribbon, I'll throw the ribbon in there for you. If I use any other dies besides the autumn tree, which I will be using, you will actually get those already pre-cut for you. So you already have those ready to just slap right on your card. So you don't have to worry about buying all the things, because I know it can definitely take a toll on the pocketbook. I get you. So for this week, I am going to be using the bundle branching out. That's where I've gotten these little shapes here. If you have kind of like overlooked this branching out set, you might really want to kind of go back and look at it again. These are wonderful, like nesting labels for sentiments, for, you know, displaying your images on here. It's just a wonderful, I love it when they have dies that kind of nest like that together, because then you can do them in different colors. I'm also going to be using the sentiments from the branching out, because the autumn tree does not have any sentiments. So to put sentiments on my card, this is what I've chose for that. And they're the perfect size to go on these cards. And then I'm also going to be using the Gathering Leaves embossing folder. So you might be asking, well, wait a minute, I didn't see where you used an embossing folder. Well, on this early espresso piece at the very back, it's kind of hard to see, but I have used the embossing folder on that. So I will already have that pre-embossed for you when I send you your kit, just so you know that you're going to get all the things that you need. But you will need to purchase the autumn trees to make them exactly as I'm showing for today's class. So the autumn trees is actually a part of a full suite collection. So what does that mean? What is a suite collection? That means that you are using one code to get everything you see. So you don't have to add this and then add this and then add that and then that. So you don't have to remember all these codes. Did I add everything to my shopping cart? There is one code to add everything together that makes these beautiful cards. Well, I did not purchase the Amber Autumn. I just didn't. I wish I kind of would have now, but I did purchase the Gathering Moments instead, because I loved these leaves. So I figured I didn't need all of it, just because the fact that I don't send out too many fall cards. But I really love the trees. I love the big, huge die right here that I'm going to be showing you, how it has such beautiful details and cuts out all these little parts in the tree that make it look very, very realistic. And the little deer, like I could not resist those deer. So it was definitely one that I had to have. I did get the paper. I did get the, what is this called? The irregular weave trim. I did get that. Somehow I didn't get the streaked dots. So those are now in my shopping cart, because I have to have those, because they obviously would go so well with these cards. I wish I would have grabbed them before, but I didn't, and that happens. And then the earthen tone metallic paper. So let me share with you guys these papers. So the way that this paper works, you still get your 12 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, but instead of getting 2 sheets of each for the total of 6 different designs, they are actually doing 8, well, it's actually going to be 4 different designs, but it is double-sided, so you're actually getting 8. But you're going to get 3 of each of the 4 to make your 12. Does that make sense? Ugh, I hate math. So this first one, every time I see this, I'm always like, what did the fox say? Because it just brings that out in me. I'm not a singer, don't claim to be, but it just brings that little tune in my head. So that is that gorgeous Cajun craze. And wow, that paper just pops. Then you've got this striped on this side. The next sheet is this little field of pumpkins and acorns, along with some little corn there. Almost looks like a little cornucopia. Beautiful fall cards. Look at the little grove of corn that's growing there. And then the back side is a beautiful little patterned paper, but it's more muted. Then we've got some, I'm not sure what that bird is called. Not a pigeon. I can't remember what they're called, but I'm sure one of you guys will be able to tell me what they are. But this is on that mossy meadow paper, and it is just gorgeous with those little scenes in there. Anybody who's a hunter would definitely know what those were called. Then you've got this fabulous, they're almost like little arrows pointing down on that, or like little wheat grain. Then we have got these trees, again, with those little deer. That is just so gorgeous. And then the back side is like a check mark of your early espresso. So gorgeous, gorgeous paper. But then you add this right here, the earthen tone metallic. Now, you guys have seen gold paper. This is a brown metallic, and I know my lights are glaring off of it and it's not kind of doing it justice, but oh my lord, is it gorgeous. So I'm going to be using a little bit of that today. So if you were to look at gold next to that, let me just show you a piece of gold just so you can get the difference of what that looks like. So gold is definitely much more yellow in tone than the brown. Okay. So just so you know that that's what a suite collection is, that's where it gives you one of each of the items listed below in this little description down here. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started? But first, I need a couple of candy corns to keep me going. My favorite. Yum, yum, yum. Ah, my envelope is folded. Okay, so we're going to do this one first. So let me get out all my pieces here. So I have chosen the base of Mossy Meadow. 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to go ahead and give this a score at 4 1/4. Now I want to make sure that I get that dark blade out of the way. I don't want to cut my card base. I just want to score it. So give that a good, nice crease there. There's my card base. Then I have a piece of that designer series paper. That is the pumpkins on the other side. So I'm just going to use this muted side here. That's going to go like so. I've got a scrap of early espresso. I've got a scrap of that, are those called pheasants? Maybe that's the name that I was looking for. She's going after my hands. She's like, hey, what is that? Then I also have a piece of that brown metallic. And then I've got some scraps of our basic beige, because that goes really well with that. So this is where I'm going to need the branching out dies. On my early espresso, I am going to use the third from largest and die cut that. And then I'm going to use the second from smallest to cut out my little scene from this. So let me get this stuff out of the way. Gotta move my candy corns. All right, so now let's go ahead and cut out this early espresso first. Oops. Well, come on now. Now my hands are being fumbly since I'm playing with the kitty over here. Okay, there's that one. Then we're going to take this scene that is on here, and I'm just gonna go like, maybe I want more of that tree in there. Okay, we're gonna go like that, and then cut that out. Hello, Linda, welcome, welcome. So then we've got, there's our designer series paper. All right, let's get this. Well, actually, we're not gonna move that yet. See, here I go, jumping the gun. I'm gonna actually grab that Gathering Leaves embossing folder. And as you can see, there's like all these little leaves that run down this folder. So I'm going to, let's get all of these out of the way. I need my other clear. This is not a 3D folder, so we need to grab, I'm gonna grab this little brown early espresso piece, and I want those running vertical. So I'm just gonna place that in between my two number 3 plates and run those through. Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe this is a 3D. It does not say 3D folder, but that is not going through there. So let's try it with the 3D. So I need my specialty plate, which is plate number 4. Oh, well, okay, it does look like it is a 3D embossing folder. So good to know. My package does not say it. And yours may not either, but it looks like it needs that specialty plate. And it is, I mean, if you look at a different, let me grab one that's not. Oh, no, that's a 3D also. Geez Louise. Do I have any that are not? Oh, yeah, here's the Starstruck. Yeah, there is quite a big difference between those two. So yeah, this is 3D, even though it doesn't say it. We just learned it is. Yep, definitely. All right, so let's get that out of the way. Do any of you guys have this embossing folder yet? And does yours say 3D on it? Do I just have a glitchy one? Okay, now we're going to put that on there. Oh, much better. So this is where I was saying, see where you can barely see that brown, and you can't really see that embossed look on there, but with the bigger piece you can. So again, another reason why these dies are so fabulous is you can decide what size you want and how much of that border you want seen. So that's always a good thing. All right, so let's move this back out of the way. So now that is going to go on our card. I have my trim right here, and I'm not sure if I just want to do it there or if I want to do a zig. Might do a zig behind there. So we'll play with that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get our other pieces cut out here. So what I was thinking is we've got this tree right here, and actually, you know what? I don't need that piece. I just need this piece. I don't know what I had that in there for, because I'm not actually using this. I'm actually using the die. That's right, because on this card, I have it in gold. I want to do that same image in brown. Now, when you look at the dies of this, you actually get 2 full sheets of dies because this tree is so big, they couldn't get all the dies on like 1 sheet. So I'm going to use this one right here. The other cool thing about this is this could actually double as coral if you have any kind of like little ocean stamp sets or whatever, and you are looking for a die cut coral. This actually looks a lot like coral as well. So just another thought there. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut this really quick so you can see that on that brown. There is that brown. Isn't that, oh, so stunning? And look at that against there. What do you think? I definitely like that brown because it really makes that early espresso in the back pop. So we're good to go on that one. The change is good, sometimes not always. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to adhere this right to the back of this. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? This would be perfect if there is a man in your life who is a hunter. This would definitely be the card for him. So in the branching out, since like I said, it has the sentiments in it, this card would be perfect for a masculine happiest birthday wishes card. If you're looking for a masculine card, you can always change the sentiment on this, especially if you get this kit from me. You're going to use whatever sentiments you have already in your stash. Okay, I'm going to put that on there, but I think what I was saying is I think I want to place this kind of like so and have that coming out of there. Let's see what we think. Gotta grab the other scissors because those ones are not going to cut it for me. Instead of going the length of that, I think I'm just gonna lay this down like so and let those little ends stick out. And the other card, I tuck them behind that piece, but I think I like those raw edges. It does look a little bit more ruggedy that way. And so to attach that down, I'm just going to grab, well, maybe if I can get it out of here, just fell behind there. I'm just going to take some of my Stampin' Seal, just put a little line of that across there, and line my paper up, or my ribbon up. Just give that a good little smush in there, and voila. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, I like it. Then we're going to pop up this piece here, like so. Since we're popping things, we're gonna pop a candy corn. Okay, I'm gonna line that up on that cardstock or that designer series paper. Now the nice thing is those patterns run straight. So if you watch your pattern, you'll know that you have got that straight on there. Yeah, I like that. Okay, then I've got this little piece of basic beige, and I'm going to use the Thinking of You Brings Joy to My Heart. And I'm going to stamp that in early espresso. Beautiful. Okay, and I think I'm going to cut that down because I want it to be the same width as this green here. So let me see, that is about 2 inches. So we can cut this down. Oh, perfect. About 2 inches. Couldn't do that again if I tried. Okay, so I'm going to put just a couple of dimensionals on that. I'm going to glue just the center of the stump of this tree. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome, welcome. And it looks like we've got Shirley who just popped in over on Facebook. So I'm going to place that about right like so. And I want that top part to kind of stick up. And then we are going to take the backings off of this and place that right along that mossy. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. I think that is such a stunning card. But again, the simplicity is so my jam. I think, oops, hold on you guys, I'm gonna tip you up a little bit. I think sometimes I try to overcomplicate cards, and not to say that I don't get beautiful results with it, but I think even a simple card can be just as beautiful. Have a candy corn for you. Okay, do you like the regular? Oops, look, that one's missing the white part. That one's a fail. That one's missing the white one too, but I love these chocolate ones. Mmm, yummy, yummy. I know some of you are probably like, that's so gross. But, favorite time of year. If only I could make my own candy corns. I don't even know what the heck they're made out of. They said that they're marshmallow, but that's not a marshmallow. I can't squeeze that. Okay, so there's card number 1. Now, because I didn't order those embellishments, let me grab what I did use on this card. Maybe. I'm not going to put them on there because they don't really match. And clearly, because they weren't meant to. And I learned that the hard way because I had to go back in and look at that catalog and be like, then what did I order? But these go with the leaf, the gathering leaf set. So that's why I have those. So when I order my other ones, I can put the other ones on there. But for a masculine card, you don't really need any bling on there anyways. So there you go. Card number 1. All right, let's do card number 2. So this one here, let me put this away, get it out of my way. All these skizzers. I'm going to actually put the branching out away because that was the only card that I needed those dies for. But we will be using the sentiments from the other one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this card first. Because that one has scoring to do with it, and I'll get the scoring tool out when we get there. So I have got a piece of pecan. This is 11 by 4 1/4. See, I still do need my score, but that one just has a lot more scoring. So we're gonna go at 5 1/2. Give that a good score. Okay, there's that. Then my next piece that I need is I am going to be using this side this time. This is the little pumpkin patch paper. That is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right on my card base there. I've got a big scrap piece of my early espresso. I definitely made sure, and I forgot that I flipped my thing over because we got it kind of messy. This is 3 1/2 inches wide, so I can make sure that it fits this big tree here. Okay, so we actually need both pieces of the tree. So if you look at this, you might get a little confused. So this part here cuts out all the little holes in that and makes it very decorative. It also has some little things that don't quite cut all the way through, but they definitely give you more of like an embossed look. Like down here, the tree stump, it gives you that embossed where it looks like it's more realistic. And then this actually cuts out the edge, because this is not going to cut out the edge. This would just leave an impression on your paper. But for the whole tree, you have to actually cut out the whole image with both pieces. So I'm going to put that on there just like so. I'm going to, instead of bringing that big machine over here, I'm going to actually just bring this over and cut it out really quick. I've got that metallic paper all over in here. So just line that up on there and die cut both the tree and the little detailed. Okay, and I'll bring this over and show you when we pull this off to reveal. Hello, Karen. Okay, so now we're going to take the cut part off. So see, I have a cut edge, and look what I did. I did not even get the whole bottom part cut. So let me put this back in there. I must have been off the bottom of my big plate. So let me do this again. Okay, so now when we take this up, okay, now we've got a good cut. So there is the full cut tree. As you can see, there's the outline for it. Now, when we take this one off, this is what's going to reveal all those detailed pieces to make it look very realistic. Then you just want to come in with your take your pick tool. And just pop all those little pieces out. Now, we're going to actually stamp on top of this now. After I get all this out, I still cannot find my weeding tool that I have. I have another take your pick tool somewhere, and I put it in one of my paper pumpkin boxes, and it actually has the little foam that goes on it where I can just run the little wheel over. I still can't find it. And I've already brought all my paper pumpkins out here, and so I don't know where it is. So I have to search. It might actually be up in one of my boxes up above the barn. We've got those, what is that, the hayloft kind of thing up at the top, and so there's boxes of stuff that I still haven't unpacked yet. from moving out here to the barn. So I may have to get up there and look through some of those boxes. Okay, there is that. Now I'm going to grab my Versamark ink, kind of flatten that out a little bit. Now for this, I need a big block, and I can't find my big block either. So they must be together. My whole little block, the gray tote thing that I have. But this tree is huge. So I just have, thank God I have other blocks sitting around. Now I'm going to use Versamark. And before I do anything, let's grab our little dusty bag here. And come back over. Get this inkied up. And then hopefully I can get this on here. And I am just going to, and there's no right or wrong way of getting this. It's just going to add some detail. So I just kind of watch the edge of that and put that on there to get that ink. Now I can see the little areas that that Versamark has touched. So now what I need to do is find what I did with my gold embossing powder here. And I need to grab tweezers because once I get that heat gun going, I do not want to burn my hands or my fingers, because that is not fun. So I'm just going to take this and put this in here. I have no idea where all my spoons went. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's up in that other container. Let me look. Oh, yep. It got left in the white. My other spoon broke when I was, what was I doing? Oh, I was I was filling up one of my ink pads, and I ran it across it, and obviously I pushed a little too hard, and I broke the other spoon. Okay, so kind of nice with all those little open areas. Just kind of all falls out. Let's take this like this. Okay, we're almost done. I know my arm's right in the way. There we go. Perfect. Now that I have a mess, we are going to use the heat tool on this and melt that beautiful gold on this early espresso, and oh, it makes it such a rich look to it. Look how that gold just pops on that early espresso. Looks like magic, I tell you. Okay, there is that. Okay. Then with these dies, we've got these little leaves that we are going to actually cut out in Cajun Craze and in Mossy Meadow. I'm just going to layer them, and I'm going to cut them both at the same time. So I'm just running it through twice to make sure that I get a nice good cut through both of those. And look at those leaves. Okay, there's that one. Maybe I didn't do it enough through the green. I might have to do the green again. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, I'm just gonna put that right back on top of that and go cut that out. One more time. All right, now that worked. I think it even got stuck in my die. Oh no, we're gonna get it out of there. There we go. Now it is kind of, I wouldn't maybe say messy to try to get out of these because there's a lot of little edges, but you can make it work. Now, if you want, you can pick all these little pieces out of here. I'm not gonna worry about it. Maybe some of the bigger ones, I'm just gonna pop out in these bigger sections, but I mean, there's a lot of tiny little, and if they don't come out, you could spend all night doing that. I'm not going to. They're leaves. They'll be good the way that they are. So then on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of these pieces and I'm going to simply set them on top of each other like so. Now, I'm going to then kind of push it up out of the way. I'm going to take that green and I'm going to just slide it just a little tiny bit to the right. Then I'm going to take some of these Cajun Craze leaves and just add them just throughout on top of the other leaves, making some of those two colors just combined without ripping everything. And again, up over here, I'm going to leave the main green here, but these can pop up on top of those, just like that. And then I'm just going to come up here and just grab a little dot of glue and just dot, not a lot, on a couple of these little pieces, like so. And then flip that over, bring some of that green back, add just a little bit of glue all around, just like that. Just adding little dots around. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to flop it down right onto my tree. Just kind of give it some little pushes. Actually, I think I want it moved up just a little bit. Yep, just like that. Kind of give that a little bit of time to grab onto the other pieces. And then I'm going to come in here and manipulate the Cajun Craze to come back out front on some of these. We want those to be seen. You are to be seen and not heard. I remember my dad always telling me that growing up. Now I think it's kind of a goofy concept. Why have kids if you can't hear them? But a lot of things were different back then. Okay, so I added those leaves to that, and isn't that beautiful with just that little bit of embossing behind that, where it really makes that tree kind of shimmer like it's either wet from the fall air. But what I did on my other one is I didn't emboss it. I just left it plain brown, as you can see on this one. But what I did do is I added Wink of Stella all over the leaves. Can you see that? So I made my leaves more shimmery on here, but then I was like, I wonder if I did that embossing on that, would you, and you can see it. So I'm kind of digging that. Oh, there's my card. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first get all this embossing powder off of here. And we're going to just adhere this piece straight down to my card base. Hello, Melanie. Okay, like so. I'm then going to adhere this tree straight down onto that paper. And then that kind of makes that paper pop because you can see the greens, you can see the Cajun and the pumpkins in the background. But then we've got a couple of pieces of scrap over here. I've got a crumb cake and I've got some Very Vanilla. What I'm going to do with those is I'm going to grab, we've got 2 of these little rocks right here. I'm going to stamp both of those in my memento. And then I'm going to stamp the deer on the crumb cake in memento. And those 2 rocks are going to go on my Very Vanilla. So we're going to do that rock there, the other longer one there, and then let's grab another block for the deer. Oh dear. Now with memento ink, grab the deer, tap, tap. We're going to just stamp that deer down. Okay, just like that. Now the rocks. One. Now I did get a little bit too much ink on that, but that's okay because we're going to die cut these. 2. I think I rocked it. Rocked it a little too hard on that rock. All right, then I'm going to grab gray granite. Blends, and then I'm going to grab my mossy blends, and then I'm going to grab pecan blends because that's the color of my card base. And so let's go ahead and do the deer first. So I'm just going to use light pecan on my deer, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over his face here, leaving his little eye area untouched, and then I'm going to leave his neck white as well. So I'm coloring right on top of my crumb cake cardstock. Okay, just like that for him. So light pecan. And then for the greenery, we're going to come in with our, this is light mossy meadow. And I'm just lightly tapping some color to this. I don't need it to be crazy. And then with the dark, I'm gonna come in more towards the bottom and darken up as if it's in that dirt there. Okay. Then with gray granite, I'm gonna just use my light gray granite and I'm gonna color in these rocks. Now, yes, I am going a little bit over that green, but it's okay. And they've already added the shadowing where that rock needs to look a little bit darker. So when you take your pen and you go over it, it already makes it look like you've added some shadowing to it. And all you've done is done one color of ink there. Okay, just like that. So very simple. 2 colors for our rocks and pecan for that. All right, then we're gonna bring out, we've got all of our dies here that coordinate. So this one, see how it's not even gonna see that mark there. That one there, and then we've got our deer. So let me cut those. Make sure all of my plates are together this time. All right, now let's cut. Whoops. See, I need to have my tape over here and I keep forgetting, thinking that I'm gonna be cool and it's just gonna work perfectly, but then it shifts and then I wind up ruining my whole image. So grab yourself some low tack tape, tape it down so things get cut properly, and then you're not having to redo your stamping and redo your coloring because you want to avoid that extra step, like me. Bite me in the butt every single time. Okay, so there's my rocks. Let's do my little deer. Can't do all 3 of them, definitely, without one of them, at least one of them shifting. Okay. Here's my deer. There he is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the larger of the 2 with the 2 rocks in it, and I'm going to add a dimensional to the back of it. Maybe we need, oh geez, where are my small ones? Oh, there they are. Then I'm just gonna throw a mini right over here, just so it doesn't get lopsided. Okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm just gonna put that kind of right over here, covering the ground part of that stump. Like these are in front of the tree and the tree is sitting back behind. And we can actually take and move that one back, but I'm gonna keep it up front and I'm just gonna glue that one straight down. Just like that. Now I know it looks like it kind of gets lost in all this, but I think it turns out really pretty. And then we're gonna just pop our deer up right there, like he is just standing under that tree, being protected by that glory color, the fall colors. And he's gonna go right there. Okay. You know what I forgot? I forgot to do the inside of my card. What the heck is wrong with me? We can't have it blank. So we're gonna need 2 inside pieces. I could have swore I had them in my cards. Are they in my envelopes? Oh, see? I did have a piece cut for that. Goofy. Okay, so for on this one, we're backpedaling here a little bit. Story of my life. All right, let's grab this. Now this is gonna go for that Mossy Meadow card over here. I'm gonna do that little green, or the little gray strip. So it's that back panel. And let's see what we have for sentiments that we can add to that. So it says, thinking of you brings joy to my heart. Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. That's very cool. That'd be neat together. To a very special someone. Sent with lots of love from our family to yours. Happiest birthday wishes, friends, and thinking of you and hello. I think I'm going to do thinking of you brings joy to my heart, to a very special someone, because we're thinking of someone because they're bringing joy to our heart. So let's bring in early espresso again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna try to grab this tree out of here. So that same inside tree piece, I'm gonna use the full stamped tree, and I'm gonna actually stamp that. I think I'm gonna do it in the center, but instead of using Mossy Meadow, because that's the color of our card, I wanna go a little bit lighter. I know, I'm really all screwed up here, but you guys are following me. I'm going to take that stamp off once. I want it a little bit lighter. I'm just gonna go right in the center of that, just like that, okay? Danny and her pocket full of squirrels. Yep, that's me. Okay, to a very special someone. We're gonna stamp that right over the top of that tree. Beautiful. I love it when it works. Okay, that is now going to go inside of this card. Okay, now we can say card complete. Okay, there's that one. Okay, back to this one. I want some of that little pumpkin paper, and I don't know why I didn't have a piece of that cut, so let me grab a little scrap of that. Let's make sure, nope, that's not long enough. Okay, there's a strip of that. Now this one, I did not add a sentiment on the outside. I thought it had enough going on for people to really look at, that it didn't need a sentiment inside. So this one is where, you know, we can add a happy birthday if you wanted this. Again, any of these cards could be like an all occasion card if you really look at them. I think I'm just going to do wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. I like that. My eye keeps going back to that one. Because then, I mean, you could even do a happy birthday underneath that. Or if you wanted to add a happy birthday to the front, you could. I'm going to do early espresso again. Just like that. Okay, and there is our second card. Yeah, I really like that gold behind there. Now, just for shits and giggles, let's add a little bit of wink to these and see what we think. Can you ever have too much sparkle and shine? Don't know. It's actually a show that my daughter watches. It's called Shimmer and Shine is what the show is called. Oh, that one's about empty. So, time to go to bottle number 2. Oh yeah, that's pretty with the wink on there. I mean, you can keep zhuzhing that up all day long and keep making that the sparkle the more you add. But there you go. You can see the sparkle of that as well. So yeah, I really like that. I think that turned out really good. I'm glad I chose to switch that. Not to say that I don't like the plain one, but that really does make a difference with the embossed background. Yep. Okay. So that one goes there. That's my other one. All right, so now we're going to do our scoring on this one. Okay, so with this one, we need to have a piece that is 8 by 4 1/4. So this is only 8 inches long and 4 1/4 wide. Okay, I know that's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, but just trust me, this is gonna make a fantastic little card. So what we wanna do with this now is we want to score this at 1 1/4. Get my cutting blade out of the way. 1 1/4 and then 2 1/2. And then we're gonna flip it around and do the same exact thing on the other end. So 1 1/4. 2 1/2. Okay, just like that. That's what we need for that. Then we're going to take our 2 inside scores. So this is the inside of our card right here. These 2 closest to it, we're going to fold in and fold in. So you're going to fold up, sticking up. Then on this second little fold right here, you're going to fold that out and back. Out and back. Okay, so you have like this little weird like thing that stands up. Okay, now I need the bone folder because we want to give these a good crease. Okay, just like that. So it's going to sit like so. Okay, so the next piece that we need is for the inside here. We have that neat little, almost like a wheat look to it. Now that is 3 inches by 4 1/4. So that's gonna fit right in that little panel. Oops, I have a little bit too long. So maybe, maybe just a little hair off the edge is all I need. There we go. So now let's see, is that gonna fit? Oh, nope, I still didn't cut enough off. Jeez Louise. So maybe go over just a touch. 3 7/8. We're gonna try that. So now what do we have it at? 2 7/8. That's what it is. Okay. Now that'll work. All right, so let's glue that piece down. Unless it's actually, I actually cut it at 2 15/16. That's what it was, not 7/8. Go math. Okay, then our card closes just like that. Then we need a scrap of early espresso, and then we need this. We're going to actually die cut that tree out of it. Not die cut. We're going to fussy cut. Then I've got 2 pieces. These are, since that is 1 1/4 wide, that means these must be 1 1/8. Now, I didn't follow it all the way down to 4 1/4 because we're going to actually be covering up this bottom, but I want it to go all the way to the top. So as long as you have them further than, say, we're going to put a 1 inch on there, so 3 1/4 long, it'll work. So if you want to put them all the way to the bottom, you can, but I just didn't want to waste any more paper. These are the scraps that I already had left over. So I'm going to go all the way to the top, but it's going to leave just a little tiny 1/8 of an inch along the sides there. Okay, just like that. So see how that looks? Then this is our folding mechanism. So this is called a bridge fold. I'm sure you guys probably already knew that by now just by watching what I'm doing. So then I have this piece here that is a 1 inch by 5 1/2 inches. And then this piece here is a 1 7/8, 1 7/8, or 7/8 by 5 1/2. So it's the full length, but just an 1/8 of an inch smaller. Well, it's actually a 1/4 of an inch smaller, but. No, it's not. It's an 1/8 of an inch. I don't know what the heck I'm thinking. My brain is really not wanting to work today. Okay. So now we've got this. Now we're going to take this. We're going to put this on the bottom of our card, but I want to make sure when I adhere this down that my card is going to be able to close to fit into an envelope. So I want to make sure that no matter which way I go with this, that little bridge is going to go either way. So I'm going to glue one side first. Hold that for a second. Let that get good and adhered down. Hello, Bonnie. And then I'm going to go this way. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to watch from the beginning because you're going to want to see those first couple of cards that I made because they are gorgeous. Okay, then with this one down, I'm going to adhere it down. Okay, holding all of that down in place. Okay, and now when you fold it both ways, now see I've got a little bit of a hangover here, so I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, so there is my bridge fold. So this little mechanism kind of just holds both those sides together, but it will lay flat either way to fit inside an envelope. So here's an envelope here just to show you. It'll fit right inside of an envelope. Okay, so now what we're going to do is with our long brown piece here, we're going to grab the deer, oh dear, little die. Now, you guys can pick what you like on your card. So I cut one out in the Very Vanilla, and what this is going to do, this is going to go across that bridge fold. We're going to cut out this tree and we're going to stick it in the back. So it almost looks like a diorama of, or like a shadow box. So if you like that Very Vanilla, kind of looks good because it's dark in the back. But we're going to go ahead and see what we think about it being on Early Espresso. Now I'm leaving about, what is that? To leave this little like 1/4 of an inch piece here. I'm just taking that about 1/4 of an inch and I will die cut that, and then I will come back and show you how you get that off. Okay, so that is what that's going to look like. Now, you can decide how long you want this. That's why I did it on a longer piece. Otherwise, your piece of paper, you only want it to be about 4 1/4 inches long if you wanted to cut the whole thing out. But I left mine long because I do want it to be the length of the 5 1/2. So then I'm just gonna come in with my scissors. Now I know that I will be cutting some of that length off, and then I'm just going to go right to that little mark, and then same thing on the other side, right to that little mark, and then my piece comes right out of there like so. So then you can see if you like it with the brown. I don't know, I kind of now that I'm looking at it, see, I made it on this one with the brown, but I kind of think I like it with the Very Vanilla. I don't know, let's get this tree cut first, and let's get that in the background, and then that might give us more of a determination of how we want that to look. So I'm just gonna come in here, and I'm just gonna kind of cut over a few of these trees and the little wispies here. You're not gonna really see that bottom part much. Come around up the tree. And you actually probably don't even need to fussy cut this. You could probably just use this paper in the background, but I wanted that other paper and I wanted the tree on it. So I might change my mind and decide that, you know, this whole fussy cutting this tree is just not worth this, but for now, we're going with it. This reminds me of when I was a kid. We lived down in a little town called Awonga. I know, right? And it was up on the hills, just, I think it was more on the east, outside of like Temecula, California. And we had this big, huge oak tree. And one year, a raccoon came off that oak tree, and my dad went to sit down in one of the chairs, and the raccoon had came down from the tree and had stuck to the back of the chair. And when he went to sit down, this thing hissed and snarled and like was just a crazy beast. Like, it did not want him there, and it definitely let him know that, hey, you're in the wrong territory, buddy. This is my tree. But yeah, it used to drop these huge acorns out of it. It was a really neat tree. So, I don't think I like that. I don't. Okay, so we're gonna try something else. Maybe, see this one, I just put the big tree in the back with the gold. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Change of plans. I'm gonna actually do that tree, but we're gonna do the details to it. So let's do this. We're gonna change our minds because we can. So I'm going to take this and I'm gonna do again what we did before. I'm gonna stamp that. Let's grab that I don't know. I just pick whatever way I'm gonna fussy cut. Who knows? I'm not a fan of fussy cutting, so it's whatever gets the job done. So I'm probably doing it, what do they say? Half-ass backwards. Yep, that's my style. Such is my life. Okay, so we're gonna go like that. Let me grab my heat tool. Let's do this again. But now we're doing it on pecan pie instead of the early espresso. It's kind of funny when you think of doing something in your mind and you think it's going to like work out, and then once you do it on paper, it just doesn't work out. That's okay. That's kind of the whole creation of crafting, art, anything like that. I'm sure there's probably been a million artists out there who in their mind have saw a painting and they have tried to do it and it just came out like turd. Like, I'm sure there has been a mini artist, and that's the process. That's kind of the whole fun of creating your own projects. Okay, so now I'm going to actually do the inside part this time. So I'm just going to line this up over those. Oops, come on, thing. So I'm not going to be having the full tree trunk down there because I don't need that much. But I am going to do it just like that. Whoops, let's get it back straight. Let me grab my little pieces of tape here. Thing does not want to move on that embossed. Okay, so I'm going to go just like that. I'm going to squeeze these together, and then I'm going to go cut this, and I will be right back. Now this tree is wider than that background, so we'll have to kind of Frankenstein it and cut some of that off, which is good. I mean, fine. It's not hurting anything. Okay, let's get rid of that. Now, let's see what this one looks like with the pieces out of it. It definitely doesn't like that I embossed that. I will tell you that much. The embossing is kind of sticking to my die. And so are my little brown pieces from when I just cut that earlier one. So I guess maybe it's good to know that you need to maybe do your embossing after you've die cut it. I don't know. I've never done that before. So now I've learned that my die does not like, and I've got to clean this all out. Look at all that mess in there. But that's okay. Now, let's line this up. We know that our back of our card is 3 inches. So I want to get this approximately as straight as possible, but I want to make sure that I'm cutting off of both sides to make it look pretty even. So I'm looking and watching my 3, and I think that looks pretty darn good. So I'm just going to cut those 2 little pieces off. And then again, come over here, line that up with the 3 and cut. Okay. Now, guess I didn't do enough. So what did I say? That we need to be at 2 15/16. That's right. Okay, that's better. Yeah. I think I like it definitely more with the like cutouts in it, where it gives it more of that dimension than what I have on this one. So I'm going to still pop this up though. I still want that raised, so we definitely get that shadow behind. Now, especially since we've got those, we definitely want to see the shadowing behind that to give it that dark, deep contrast behind there. So I'm just going to go like that. Get it where we don't have it on those. Pop up the right pieces. Okay. Now take this and I'm going to just slide this right in between here. And that is now popped up. So my card will still be able to close. Okay. Now, this is where we can do that brown, which we've got the brown deer here, but hold on a minute. Or we've got the, I'm conflicted. What do you guys think? Huh. I don't know. That's tough. Like, they both look good. I mean, the brown really goes with the brown of the card base, but the very vanilla really goes with the very vanilla of this. Okay, we need some polls going on here. Do we like very vanilla, or do we like early espresso? Because I'm having a real hard time deciding which one I like. Now, my other card, I did do the early espresso. Very vanilla. We've got a very vanilla. Okay, a couple more. Very vanilla again. All right. 2 in a row. All right, let's do very vanilla. Where did my... I had a little sentiment piece sitting out here. Did I completely lose it? Well, that's okay. I've got a little piece of pecan right here if I lost my other one. Hopefully that's just long enough. I don't know. We'll make it work. All right. So we're going with vanilla. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue along that. And then I can cut those off if I need. And I'm just going to place that right like so. Going right to the edge of that bridge. Flip this over. Cut that piece off. Oh gosh, you guys, that is such a beautiful scene. Don't you think? Okay, so now we need to cut this down since I lost my other one. I'm going to cut this down to about a 1/2 inch or so. Let me get my sentiment. I want to use that one that says, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. So let me see if I had a 1/2 inch, if that's not, no, that's not going to work. So I'm going to go up to 3/4 of an inch on this. I guess I probably should have seen if it was long enough. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then I need to clean this off. See, Bonnie even said very vanilla. Right? Both do look good, but it's hard because they both give a different look. Well, you've got options. All right, let's use Versamark again. I'm going to take this and kind of go towards the bottom of that so I can cut off that top piece if I need. Okay. I'm gonna come in here. I think I had tweezers laying around somewhere, but I don't know where they're at now. Okay, move that out of the way. Did I put my tweezers away? Oh, I actually put something away for once. You guys can mark that one down. That was a plus for me. Okay. And then let's cut off some of that top. Perfect. Now, with this little piece, we're gonna just pop that right in the center underneath our little deer, like so. Now, if you wanted to, you could pop it up, but I'm just not, you just gotta be careful of too much like elevation so it can still go through the mail. So I'm just gonna do it just like so. And then there is our beautiful card. And now we've got this is 3 by 4 1/4, and this goes on the back of our card, just like so. But it's again a little bit too long, so geez, I really just nailed you. Woo-wee! Watch out! So again, we need to go to 2 15/16. That's what's gonna fit. I was just making sure you guys were all awake. Right? All right, now I'm going to do that little sentiment that says happiest birthday wishes on this one. Because didn't we do a mini wishing you a day filled with many happy moments? So yes, happy birthday. And we're gonna go with Versamark. Why not? Okay, like that. This one's gonna get a whole bunch of gold embossing going on. Beautiful, beautiful card. My heat tool is getting a workout today. She works hard for her money. Okay. We're gonna put that right on the back. Okay, and then you would just write your, you know, your little sentiment on the back there for who you're giving it to, and then they get to have something that they display for years to come in remembrance of you sending them this amazing card. Yeah, I really do like that vanilla. And as you guys can see, that detail on the left card really, or the right card, really makes all the difference on that, because I just kind of didn't dig the one that was on the left. But adding that, so yeah, very, very cool. And then I did add some of those little pecan thing or Cajun Craze dots, but I don't like those. And since I realized that those weren't the ones that went with this, we didn't add any bling. But yeah, there you can see the difference in the contrast of the early espresso and this. Looking at this at your guys' view through the camera, this one really pops. I will say that. So good choice, you guys. All right, you guys, let's bring in all 3 of the cards that we have created today. And so there we have it. Beautiful, beautiful. So there is Make It Monday for today, the 22nd of September. I cannot even believe that September is almost over with. Oh, I'm just mind boggled. That makes me feel really, really old. I will tell you that much. Time is flying way too fast here. So there are some ideas. If you guys have this set and you were looking for some ways of using it, well, there you go. Change the colors up. Have fun with these. You have very, very beautiful results. So enjoy. Have a fabulous rest of your week. And I will see you back here next week. Don't forget to get your mystery stamping cards submitted. You guys have been working so hard to get those all posted. I love seeing them. They're absolutely beautiful. You guys have picked just gorgeous colors to play with this time. So I will see you later. Take care of yourselves. Love you all. Bye-bye.